Hi, it's Farley. How you doing? Today we're going to talk about inflation, the most unjust of taxes, or how your pockets are being vacuum cleaned without you even knowing it, dude. So, inflation, a tax, is it? Well, yes it is, and I'm here to tell you that it is. And so, this is exactly how it works. Taxation rates. Long ago, it was long discovered that if you charge people about 45%, they generally whinge. Yeah, it's not great. They complain, they cry, and they whinge. So 45% not good. 50%, well, people start crying if you start charging them 60%. And 60%, you got a revolution on your hands. So, they thought, the powers that be thought, well, okay, let's find another game. We'll charge them at 45, 50, we'll stick to that, but we still need to rustle up some money. So, tell me, Farley, just how does this work? Well, it's quite simple, really. We're going to stop asking people to pay more tax, right? We've maxed them out 45, 50%, and we'll make them think that that's okay. Now, what we need to do is to play with the money supply, and the money supply is the magic component. This is a thing you probably haven't heard much about, but it's what's going on. So we just print more money, okay? Increase money supply, right? But the side effect of printing more money is that prices will slowly drift up. This is stealth taxation, my friends, and it's very, very smart, right? It's the smartest thing you can do. So, if you have $100 in the US economy, or in any economy, 100 units, right? A coffee costs you 1 unit, right? So there's 100 of them, it'll cost 1 unit. But now if you increase the money supply to 200 units, obviously you're going to have to pay 2 units for that coffee, right? It's that simple. So you and millions of others are left scratching your head and wondering, just how is it that these prices just keep going up and up and up? Well, if you let the government, this is why QE is so fundamental to everything that's going on. And most people watching the news going, oh God, QE yet again, don't understand what that is. Well, you should be very concerned and very interested and very focused. Every time they touch the printing press, they're printing more money, your cup of coffee's going up, right? So now I'm at great liberty to reveal to you the secret of how all of this works, and it's especially for Raging Golden Bull listeners today. How does it work? The secret revealed. Well, the secret is there is no secret. We're just being robbed blind. As you saw my previous piece, then you will know that we're being robbed blind. So prices are not rising. Big surprise. Prices are not rising. No, they're not. No, they're not. The value of the currency is depreciating. That's all. The paper, smelly little notes of paper that you have in your pocket are being devalued. A cup of coffee has the same value as it always has. Not much surprise there. What's a cup of coffee worth? It's worth another cup of coffee. That's what it's worth. That's the value of it. Money supply, right? There is no secret. So the money supply is now 200 units. We need to pay 2 units to purchase the same value. That's all. So it's as simple as that. And what I find it's useful is to turn it around. That means look at the guy who's selling the stuff, right? He wants or he needs to receive the same value in return for his coffee. Yeah? And that's it. So in conclusion, currency, your cash, is being debased, right? No secret. Cash is not sound money. It is currency, but it is not money. You got to understand the difference between currency and money. Money is something that has value. Money is value. Value is value. A coffee is a value. A cup of coffee has value. Debasement is achieved through increasing the money supply. So if you increase the supply of money, you're not increasing the value of that pool of money. What you're doing is increasing the amount of money that's in circulation, the money supply. but there's no value being created. You haven't to create value. You have to do something. You have to build a house. You have to dig out a lake. You have to build a building. But that's value. But it's not. Money's not the same thing. So the next thing is that if money supply increases, so must the number of units of that money to pay for the stuff. So for example, coffee, tea, burgers, holidays, or cars. You need to do that. So don't play that game, right? Exit the system. And as I like to say, think, make a plan, and take action. So that's it. I just like to wrap it up. But you need to start thinking for yourself. I cannot stress this point enough. You need to re-examine the stuff that you think is normal or that you understand. And just think about that stuff, right? And schedule time for this, because if not, I mean, you don't want to get swept away with the rest of the people who are not even aware. You are now aware, so you can take action. And I do think thinking, making a plan, and taking action are really important. And I'd just like to leave you with this. Socrates said long ago that the unexamined life is not worth living. So with that, I think there's a deep and powerful message, and I suggest you act on his words. That's it from Farley B. So from Raging Golden Bull, have a good time. I'll catch you on the other side. And remember, don't go changing.